We tend to think that being political or being a citizen refers to voting or being part of a political party. But in fact, being political is more of an everyday activity than we may imagine. For example, every time we complain in a minibus that the music might be too loud or the minibus might be speeding, or maybe if we caution a child from running into the street or resist our temptation to throw garbage around, all these are activities of being a citizen. Basically, it's influencing the way life happens rather than just let it happen to us. So our usual excuse would be, it has nothing to do with me, so we don't want to get involved or behave like a citizen. We spoke to a few people on how they'd react if they had an opportunity to behave like a citizen. So watch this.
We would like to know where you could really go to carry a report, carry a letter, get people to sign. People through here don't mind signing, but where you're taking it so you could get justice.
Citizens can really help the situation if it is them surrounded.
How do you think?
By forming like a group and about the situation that clean up the dream, because it's not what Guyana can do for you, it's what you can do for the country. Is it?
Well, as a citizen, probably if it doesn't improve anytime soon, I probably could get some of my friends and we could join some sort of youth group, or we could go around the place trying to clean up, especially the seawall area, the heights of town by the bus parks.
You take it outside, and labor, union, and you go forward and forward until something is done. Somebody will hear you. Somebody will make a move. The thing about it is, with these situations in Guyana, we give up easily.
Well, all I could give a little advice, like how to keep them off the street. If I reach the person who own it, to tell them how to keep it off the street. Either you make a pen, feed it every day in the pen, you gotta lose it on the road.
I would come to the headmistress and start out the matter. I won't jump and do things like me on my own.
So if you're not satisfied with that,
when not satisfied, I would go to the ministry and get things in order.
To get an authority to rectify the situation, you have to get to the council. You have to get to the council. And if the council failed, then we can get to the self-help project. And in so doing with the self-help project, we have to get the citizens within, like the neighbors or whoever live within, in getting the drain to clean.
What I can do as a citizen? Well, I'm 71, I can't do much. Because I can move a spade or two sometimes, and that's about it.
Actually, my mom is an audiological physician, and she always talks about it, always tells me if you're in a bus and bus playing too loud music, you should tell the conductor to turn it down.
Well, I didn't think we could do nothing. We have to go and get the stuff to get it to do the road. You got to get it to the council.
I think the best thing could be to protest, because to me that seems to attract more attention and it works efficiently.
just watch a number of people's reaction to the question of how they would respond as being a citizen in many different situations. But today we want to turn to another way of behaving like a citizen rather than just a subject. This time we want to look at ways we can influence decisions which affect us before these decisions are taken. And citizens come together in many ways to do this. For example, trade unions, they take an interest in improving working conditions. You have environmental groups, they promote good sanitation, clean air. Other groups, they look at road safety and perhaps simple things like monitoring what is showing on television. So in order for us to find out how these groups function, we decided to focus in on the parent-teachers associations. And we'll have a chat with the headmistress of a very busy primary school. I'd like to welcome Mistress Jennifer Kamabaj, the headmistress of Winford Gardens Primary School. How are you this afternoon?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for your welcome.
So what kinds of things does the PTA do?
It depends also on the particular year and the kinds of activities that they plan. And of course, when they plan, they don't plan in isolation, because we are very we always remember the T in PTA. It's not parents alone, but it's Parent Teachers Association. So we work together. I would say that the PTAs so far at Winfrey Gardens have all been very helpful and supportive to me as a head teacher. I can have my little influence here and there, you know. And what is very good is that the PTA, the members of the PTA respect the head teacher. And so that's important. If they don't respect you, well, then you have no influence. So even if they want to do something, they would always call me up, or they would always come in or bring it up at the meeting, and they always want to hear how the head teacher feels about it. Because I try to be just. I try to be a righteous head teacher. I try to do things in a fair manner, you know, so that things can work out. So it's not just a matter of thinking about me alone. You know, I'm not selfish. It's for the good of the school. Always it's for the good of the children of the school.
Do you think the parents are more interested about the affairs of the school as they are more interested in specifically about their child?
Now, everybody is interested in their child and how their child does. And then they're interested in the school. So I wouldn't want to put one above the other. But I will say that there are some parents who indeed, yes, they're interested in what their child is doing very well. They're interested in that. If there's a problem, they come and speak about that.
Would you say the parents are generally demanding at the PTA, or do they just go with what they're told?
You mean go with the flow?
Yeah.
No, there are some parents who would sit back and they would, like I've had parents say, Miss, you know, I never knew X and I never knew Y. Thank you for saying so, you know, for explaining and so on. So there are some who would listen and take in everything that you say, because, you know, in many spheres, the teacher is the most important person, you know. And so some would take what you say, but some would not take what you say. They would question. And that's what we want. That persons must not just take in, because we don't train the children to just sit back and they're a sponge sapping in, taking in everything that the teacher says. Because in this day and age, you know, the teachers could be wrong. And with internet, you could know more than the teacher. So we like children to question, and in that same way, we like our parents to question. It shows that they're involved and they're interested.
So your PTA seems to be functioning well, but what would you advise other schools whose PTAs aren't operating that well?
Well, first of all, I would want them to find out more about what PTAs can do for a school, how important a PTA body is to the school. And so when they they could recognize that it's not just about raising money. Yes, it's good for them to assist us in so many different ways. That's important. Don't think that it's not important. It's very important. But that's not what you want with PTAs alone. There are so many things that we can do. At meetings, we educate our PTAs. We bring persons in, you know, persons of interest with topical things, whether it's health or about education itself. Parents need to know what's going on in their children's lives, what's happening in the school. So you need to educate parents. They need to know what's going on. And so when you do these kinds of things, you'll find that the PTA will thrive. But I still think that parents should be a bit more demanding, because when you push for your school, you get a higher standard. When the parents want more, you have to produce more. When they are holding you accountable, and that's what parents need to do. They need to hold the teachers, the head teacher, the entire education system accountable, because when they hold us accountable, we're going to work even harder.
So I must thank you for being here. And to wrap up everything that you just said, this question kind of is a synopsis of everything. What would you say the ideal Parents-Teachers Association would?
It would be one that has a lot of activities that would bring in the parents and the teachers, one that would ensure that the school is accountable in terms of academic standards, in terms of punctuality, finance. They must always have a good account, because they need to look after the school, not just the building, but they need to look after things like ensuring that teachers are treated well, because stands to reason you treat your teachers well, you get better results. Just generally supportive of the school, ensuring that all the different parts of the school run well.
Let's all strive for that ideal PTA. Thank you, Mrs. Kamabaj, for being here.
And thank you for having me.
We've recently had a national election which managed to irritate just about everybody for one reason or the other, you know. The posters plastered everywhere, you know, not knowing who we were voting for, the wall-to-wall ads on the television, and the tedious count, and a whole host of other things. I mean, we can either do nothing until the next election, or we can act like citizens and let our opinions be known, so how we can encourage change. This Saturday, Facing the Future will be hosting a one-day conference for a wide range of civic organizations. They'll be reviewing what needs to be done to ensure that the next elections are far superior to the one we experienced in November. It's a good opportunity for Facing the Future to re-energize our campaign. Tiari is up next with our young people, so please stay tuned.